Hello, and welcome to my first time doing a thing I am not used to and have never done before ever in my decades of existence in this reality, and that is to read something I typed up and placed on a white thing in a virtual space. That's right. I'm talking about a script. Now let's cue that intro. Alright, so, who, what, where, when, why? Let's start talking. What is a BattleTech? Why is BattleTech? How is BattleTech? Where is my BattleTech? Can you eat BattleTech? Well, you could try, but you might die, and that is more you than a me problem. So my answer is yes and probably. Moving on. BattleTech is a tabletop game where you take miniatures, or as I like to call them, adult male toy models, or AMTOMs for short. Personal joke. And play war games on an IRL 3D sandbox on top of a table. Just like I did when I helped officers prepare mission briefings in the Army. Almost no difference, not as fun. With lore set in a fictional universe thousands of years in the future where humans have been doing some colonizing, as you do. Colonizing of space. Average human stuff. We now have faster than light travel. Spaceships, kinda need those to do space travel. And even in space we have catastrophic wars. Just several orders of magnitude bigger ones, because there's a difference between fighting over a single country, a continent on a single planet, and then fighting over multiple planets at the same time in space. And now we nuke each other irregularly, literally, if not literally, then close enough, and wage war with the usual stuff. Different planet, same stuff designed to destroy what and who you don't like in as many different flavors as there is food. With the exception of one thing, some guy with a different, and I emphasize different, sense of style, who just so happened to still control the center of the human universe. AKA the Terran hegemony, Earth and the initial ring of systems around it that humans are away from in the first place. Oh yeah, the map looks like this. Who said the early scientists were wrong and Earth was not the center of the universe? Dead wrong. And that same guy, who had a bit of a different sense of style, pushed for the creation of something that changed the literal face of war from its inception, and is what this universe's core focus is. And ladies and gents, I present to you the first battle mech. The first mechs. By the way, AKA giant metal stompy boys with big guns and a penchant for turning anything smaller and softer than it into paste, scrap, or pebbles. I would say rubble, but that implies pieces of orphanage larger than a brick, and I did say giant metal stompy boys, emphasis on the stomping. And now everyone has them, and has a lot of them, on top of the usual squishy squish infantry, somewhat less squishy tanks, and all the other inventory. Artillery, air forces, you probably get it by now. The usual inventory. And the occasional power armor. Because why not make infantry more annoying to big giant metal gods of the battlefield? That being said, power armor is for when someone doesn't want their infantry to be simply pasted on first contact and at least be better cannon targets than usual, and a bit more annoying at best to whatever they're supposed to be facing for the 60 seconds they get before something X's them from existence, as easily as marking an X on paper by tracing the lines of the X that is already on the paper because you're 2 years old and it's something you just do if you have functioning parents at home. Which is lucky in this universe. Remember the orphanage references. And now there's arbitrarily enforced rules for war that make it more sport than business, with not much difference. Work and play, as they say. Oh, and there are 6 major factions and dozens of minor factions. Remember the map from earlier. I mean, seriously, the map's right there. And subject to change. For now, maybe forever to be determined due to humanity's favorite pastime, the game of death called war, where you participate willingly or unwillingly, depending on where you guys are at any given point in time. Yes, that's literally the case. Also, there are no good guys on the scale foolish utopians would like, and there are no bad guys on the scale that leftist-handed people would like to pretend exist either, so no one will be perfectly happy. But that is just life, so just adult, get over it, and just pick the stuff you are least unhappy with and mosey your way through reality like the rest of us, maybe normal or not normal meat suits driven by a self-aware tentacle monster inside 1 to 2 inches thick of a container made up of calcium and collagen. I hope you never unhear that. Oh, and in lore, there are 6 major eras so far. 6 major. And so many other minor, there's so many books to cover it all. Yeah, just saying. So, these are giant points in history where shit got the realest. Starting with the UN of space. Called the Star League because, well, it's in space, which almost not quite turned out to be maybe not just as useless as the organization for which it is based on, and probably didn't have blue hats, but who knows. And then it fell apart when some guy who likes bibs and is basically Fat Genghis Khan. I mean, seriously. Fat Genghis Khan, he's right on the screen. And that poor kid next to him, that's the First Lord. Soon to be mentioned, not to be missed. So that being said, Fat Genghis Khan, without the badass part, took the power for himself after gifting the Star League's First Lord, whom he befriended, the pistol he would immediately afterward blow his head off with. Talk about a mind-blowing present. And then he proceeded to get his ass handed to him by the Russian-descended general of the Star League, who had tried to raise the young idiot of a Star Lord, but failed, but still avenged him after retaking the Star League and then took the Star League Defense Force, SLDF for short, and exited because there was now a power vacuum, and we all know what happens when many powerful factions see an opportunity to get some power, and the good general wanted to limit damage. So he took all the SLDF and their toys, and went beyond known space, and out of reach of the factions that soon start the next era called the Succession Wars, which lasted for hundreds of years, resulting in regression of everything just in time for the next era, where the descendants of the SLDF make a triumphant return. Just kidding, it's called the Clan Invasion that basically devolved into a caste system with a hardcore emphasis on honor with a side dish of stupidity plus but honor as a dessert. where they end up getting their honorable fur selves almost yeeted from existence by Space AT&T, who proves that you should be terrified of your IT at all times, because they will stomp a mold hole through you, and then charge your corpse for services rendered. Remember to pay your bills, fuckos. And after the fur clans are put to sleep, then comes the next era. And it is simply known as Jihad, where an ultra-religious group centered around techno-mysticism that worships the biggest known nerd IT guy that started Space AT&T launch an interstellar war, where all the factions fight each other, themselves, and practice nuclear warfare again, because why not? Everything is going to hell anyway, why not? And when that ends, after 12 years of making billions of more reasons for more orphanages, we come to the Dark Age, where there is now another wannabe unifying organization called the Republic of the Sphere, where they kinda almost don't fail at peace, and everyone starts feeling the pink fuzzy rainbows and chasing the butterflies, until suddenly they don't, because cell phones stopped working, and then internet stopped working, and the interplanetary network ceases functioning, and then it's back to the grim dark reality of death, destruction, and chaos, because why not humanity each other to death, like nature intended, and pass the time with a game of who can not die first or who can die last, because doesn't matter, you die anyway, so why not die quicker, because participation is mandatory. Alright. I think I essentially nailed all of that. That being said, I think I got everything, but kept it as simple as I could possibly condense without leaving out too much or including too little, and where this ends up on that scale is up to you, because I am finally done with this monstrosity of a video that I did all by myself, I might add. Also because I have no choice and cannot hire an editor yet, so click that join button to spare me any more 100-hour weeks. It's sitting so long that it takes me a million years to stand up because I almost fused my goddamn seat making this. Please make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click the bell and turn on all notifications, because YouTube loves to prank creators, and I mean that they love it, and they give us anxiety on steroids every freaking day. Check the description box. It has my links for everything, including Twitch, where I play games with friends, subscribers, and occasionally random members of the BPO, because they're all cool as mech. And be sure to join my Gilded, and if we have any wizards that can help me finish setting it up, that would earn my undying appreciation. That being said, be good, be safe, make a good life for yourselves, and I wish to see you before I make another one of these things. This is Badger Actual. Out.